Hello YouTube, I'm Jeff, and I am your average camper, and I'm here today with Tiki Man, and just for the fun of it, we want to do a side-by-side comparison with my old Coleman stove and this. This is an AOTU. AOTU, AOTU. It's a Chinese knockoff of a jet boil. So want to go ahead and hook this thing up, do a side-by-side comparison, talk a little bit about them, and see what happens. And the first thing you need to know is that the Coleman, it takes a bit to warm up. You don't really get a usable flame until the generator warms up and the liquid fuel vaporizes, and then it turns into something more usable. So we lit it up first, and we're going to give it a minute. Now the thing about this thing is it is super light, super compact, cheap. And if you need a stove, I mean, it's easily available. Amazon has several versions of this, anywhere from $9.50 to $13, $14. And I have not tried this one out yet. And these things just spin around. Screws right onto the top of a fuel canister. And let's hope it works. It also has like an electrostatic lighter. Looks like it works, so we'll try it out. I just got this in the mail. If it doesn't work, I guess this is going to be a short video. I've never used one of these things before, so. Let's try it out. I have a flame. Almost looks like it's ready to blow itself out. And it did. So we'll leave that right there. So what I have is two 20-ounce bottles. Water, both of these have been sitting out here same amount of time. They're probably about, I don't know, 70 or 80 degrees by now. It's pretty warm out. I'm going to give the Coleman a little bit more time. It's not quite warmed up. It'll be almost an invisible flame when it gets to where it's ready to use. And today is the 4th of July, so if there's any fireworks going on outside, you're supposed to take a sip of beer and yell "Happy Birthday, America." I started timers on each of these so I could get an idea of how long the burn times are. I'm thinking people can sometimes get 3 hours out of these isobutane canisters, from what I've heard. Happy birthday, America. Okay, I'm just going to handheld here. I started a timer when I put these on, so I'm about a minute 49, minute 50 into this. And we do have some bubbles from the AOTU, however you pronounce that. And also from the Coleman stove, it's about the same, starting to get some bubbles. Wish I had a shot where I could get both of these at the same time. Tiki Man's a little taller than I thought. This is the Coleman. Oh, and the Coleman's looking like it's ready to boil. Wow. 3 minutes, just under 3 minutes. I'm going to turn that down. I did not expect that. Okay. The AOTU is looking like it's pretty close. .325, 326. We're really close to a rolling boil right here. .347, 350. And we're getting right on a boil there. Alright, I'm going to call that a boil, right about 4 minutes. This one's not quite as stable as the Coleman. Alright, let's get this water off here and get on with the rest of the test. The Coleman, at just under 3 minutes, wins this little contest. I got them both down now. So at about 4 minutes, the AOTU and the butane propane cylinder. Let's get the water off of there and go on with the longevity test. I see how long these things burn. Yeah, we've been running these things for about an hour. Fireworks are in full swing. I think one thing worth mentioning is that the Coleman is hot. I've never burned this long on high. I didn't realize it got so warm. It's almost getting difficult to pump it. Put a glove on. But the butane canister is cool to the touch. It's actually condensing water. So it's cooling down as it's, yeah, happy birthday, America. So they're still going, both of them about an hour. There's a couple minutes difference. I lit the Coleman a few minutes before the other one. So just a quick update, and I'll get back to you. We'll see how long these things will run. Okay, it's been about an hour and a half. Both these stoves still running. That's quite a bit of burn time, really, more than I thought. Especially on the Coleman. I didn't think it would run this long. And, some of the fireworks have settled down now, but there's still some fireworks going on outside. Okay, guys, I'm back to check in. Still going. Both stoves are still going. We're right about the 2-hour mark. The Coleman has been burning for over 2 hours, and the other stove, the butane system, is just under 2 hours. So both of them still going. Alright, I did not get to finish filming the end of this where the stoves burned out, unfortunately. I had some trouble with my camera. I think I had too much on the memory card, and apparently 32 gigabytes is not what I thought it was. So I do know, because I had to walk away, when I came back everything was burned out. I do know that somewhere between 2 hours and 8 minutes and 2 hours and about 18 minutes, both stoves burned out. When I walked back, they were both out. I checked the Coleman, it was completely out of fuel. Still had a little pressure left in it, but that's good to know. Both stoves full blast, as high as I could turn them up, over 2 hours burn time. So that's a pretty good performance out of both of them. So I want to wrap this up. Let's talk about the Coleman, the pros and the cons. I'll tell you what I think about both stoves. The first thing you should know is that my Coleman stove is a 508. It's in a very old stove. The current model is a 533. It's a dual fuel. Burns the Coleman white fuel, or it doesn't have to be Coleman. There's cheaper versions of that. It also will burn unleaded gasoline. So let's talk about that stove. It's basically the same thing being made now as the stove that I just tested. Hasn't changed much in 30 years. So this is a bigger stove. It's not a backpack type of thing. So it takes up a lot of space, and it's reasonably heavy. I weighed it at about 2 3/4 pounds empty. So that's with the case and the stove. So that could be a drawback if you're backpacking or you want to pack things up and be as light as possible. For me, at truck camping, it's not a big deal. The Coleman requires a warm-up period. It doesn't just fire up, and it's not a usable flame until the fuel gets vaporized, and it takes a few minutes. Also, the Coleman fuel, it doesn't just run forever. It has to be pumped. You have to keep pressure in it. So it does require a little more effort to keep it going. Also, the Coleman, the current model, retails for about $65 US. That's on Amazon, and I'm sure you can find it cheaper if you can find a sale. So it's a bit expensive if you're on a budget like I am, and you just want to get a stove. What I do like about the Coleman, and I'm maybe biased because I've had it for 30 years, I really love the stove. It's very stable. Once it gets going, the flame is perfect. You can turn it down very, very low. It's reliable, it's durable. Like I said, I've had it for 30 years. It's very stable. When you put a pot of water on it, it feels solid. As long as you have it on a flat surface, it feels solid. It doesn't feel like it's going to tip over or anything. Also, the fuel costs on it are pretty cheap. And the flame itself is it's a wider flame pattern, so the whole thing is probably a little bit better for cooking. If you're cooking in a skillet, I'm going to make some bacon and eggs in the morning, it's probably a little better stove. I love my Coleman stove, and I would buy one again if I lost it or if it was broken. Let's get to this AOTU, which I cannot pronounce. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. I bought it from Amazon. It's AOTU, and it comes in this little plastic container. I bought it, I think, for $11.70, somewhere close to that. There's different versions of this sold under different names. I picked this one because it did have the case pictured in the ad, so I wanted to make sure I got the case. It's a pretty good little stove. I was impressed with it. Let's go over the things I didn't like. It's a bit noisy. It is a little bit unstable as far as placing something on it. These things fold out, and I don't know if you can see this very well. It's just not as stable as the Coleman. You can put a pot of water or something on this, and it just doesn't feel as solid. And especially when you're dealing with boiling water, around children or something, or pets. I just don't trust it as much as I do the Coleman. It just doesn't seem as stable. And I had it on a solid platform. So if you're backpacking, this is just perfect. It's cheap, it's easy, it's light, weighs almost nothing. It even comes with a lighter built in, so you don't even need a lighter. Also, as maybe even as a survivalist tool, you can start a fire with this. If you have a canister, you don't even need a lighter. I was really impressed with it. For the price I paid for this, a canister is $6 at Walmart. They're easy to get. They're readily available. For under $20, you're out camping with this thing. So, really was impressed with it. Not quite as fast as the Coleman. It took me about 4 minutes. I actually did the boil test a few times. This was between 4 and 5 minutes every time. That was 20 ounces of water. I like it. I don't have anything bad to say about it. It is what it is. It's very cheap. It's quick. It's light. It's something I would recommend you buy, especially if you're on a budget or if you're backpacking and you just need to, pack up as light as you can. So anyway, if you watch this video, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you learned something. I know I had fun, and I learned a little bit about this thing, which I had never used before. And I hope to do more comparisons. But I'd rather do them out camping. I'd rather take this stuff out camping and show it to you as I use it and tell you about it or what I think in real life situations. I will be taking both of these out and using them. I'll probably be throwing little tidbits of information at people as I try to get outdoors more and do more camping. So if you watched this video this far, thank you very much, and until the next time, I'll see you later. AOTU. AOTU? AOTU. 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 I don't know. AOTU? Really? AOTU. Don't know how you say it. I don't know.